And today we'll be doing something very special. We'll be t- we'll be learning about portfolio and preparing your career. Yeah, prepare yourself for the career and the opportunities for motion designers out there. And I want this to be a very engaging conversation. We are not doing After Effects today. We are talking more about portfolio building and career opportunities and preparation. So this is a time where you can drop all your concerns while we address the subject matter or the topic for discussion. So let me just begin with some of my thoughts around this. Then I entertain questions if you have, but then it's gonna be a very brief class. So we've learned a lot about motion design from the beginning of the week. We did introduction. I told you everything I knew and what is to know about motion design. Um, we we got into After Effects, did some practice with the interface, learn the interface, learn some principles of animation. We went into social media animation. We animated some flyers. We did some logo and some other basic brief animation. Then we went into UI animation, animating some UI screens, promo animation for UI, and so for that was week 4. Then we did I I believe last week we did so we took some scenes for promo animation, that's the explainer animation from a script. And this week we are rounding it up with a portfolio because and this is a very important discussion. This is a very important discussion because uh, this is how you will be represented for again. This is how you'll be represented, and you really need to put into account how you want people to perceive you or how you put yourself out there so that it can give you opportunity, give you the kind of visibility and opportunities that you need as a motion designer. Because if you are not very consistent and intentional about this, you may end up moving in cycle. And by that I mean having a very unproductive year. So portfolio, like I try to explain, is how you brand yourself ha- for opportunities as a motion designer. Because in most case, what you be doing now, the your 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 first gigs, or not necessarily your first gigs, your first job, whether full time, remote, freelance, you should be you should try to build your portfolio. And by that, first of all, you need to identify the kind of industry you want to be working under. Are you going into entertainment? Are you going into product design? That's motion design for products. Are you going into crypto? Are you going into ITC? Are you going into education? Okay, you need to define your niche. Are you going into branding as a motion designer? Yeah. Would you be specializing 2D animation or 3D animation? What These are the kind of things you need to consider, put into consideration. Would you like to work in-house or as a freelancer? What are the opportunities in both scenarios? Would you be creating some personal projects, and how well will you be creating some personal projects, and for what kind of audience will you be creating a project for. All these things, you need to create time to have a deep thought around it. This conversation is not something that can happen in one sitting. You build around it in the rest of your working years experience. I've been like more than 5 or 6 years now, and I can say that I it's still a building phase. It's still a building process for me. Again, it's still a building process for me, and I keep advancing. Portfolio is not something that can ever be perfect, no matter how good you are. It can never be perfect, but then there's always progress. Okay, so I took a liberty to create some links that could help you approach portfolio, and let's go over some of them. Um, let's go over some of them. So now, one thing I think you should focus on first in is your research. Like for example, I these are some websites for international brands that have been doing beautiful projects. And what you need to do is to look at how this website, the kind of content they put out there, how do they describe themselves. For example, this is Buck. Buck is a global creative company that brings brand story and experience to life through design, art, and technology. Then you start seeing some case studies. Then again, you start seeing some case study. When you go over to work, you see their projects ranges from everything 2D, 3D, live action. Now, while I started with a studio or an agency, is because at the end of the day, you need to learn what this type of people appreciate. If you will be getting jobs from them, you need to know that as a company or an agency, you only hire like-minded talents, talent who can adapt to your company's culture, you get ethics, aesthetics, contents, you get. So a good way to start is by creating the best of the best. Their website, go to visit their website, check them out on social media, see how they present their content. Look for how they present their content, and do your study. You get, so that you cannot tell, okay, if I'm building my project, for example, now if you're a 3D guy, you should look at how they do their project. Okay, what kind of trend do they set? You get, so that now the reason why you're doing this, so that when you are building your portfolio, your portfolio comprises of independent projects, collaborative projects, your showreel, your website, and some other projects. Yes. So now it will help you know the kind of approach you'll be doing for projects in the future. Again, so that it can be close to the standard that these companies um are looking for, because they will not, if your work doesn't impress them, you may not have opportunity for hire. And another thing to add to it is that as Africans, especially Africans working remotely, you need to work much twice harder than any freelancer or designer, indie designer that are in the States. You get, so you need to stand out more. And one thing you need to do is to work on your personal branding how you present your you need to find your tone, find your voice, find your aesthetics. You get find your aesthetics. Are these this type of project that appeal to you? You study them. So I'm going to do a case study or scenarios to point out a few things now. Now, these top sites are like these are like studios and agency. This is how studios and agencies should appear. So if you're like, okay, I want to build a studio myself, and and I want to get get people on board with me and pitch for projects. If you feel you are capable, maybe you had experiences from designing, and maybe you haven't been designing for a longer while, and you wanted to expand your team. That's the reason. You want to expand your team. That's fine. So that means you have a working system already. You have a vision. You can brand yourself as an agency. A good example. Another example I can point out is Spencer Z. So this is a studio. This is an agency. Again, and this is how these are how they brand themselves. They are more. You will notice a pattern. They don't not too much personal content. There's not so much personal content. It's more about straight to the point, clear messages. You get clear messages, and these are things that they look out for. Okay, a captivating caption. These people, they are like, we are an animation studio based in Cindy. We specialize in motion design. You get now they are stating their services: motion design, illustration, and storytelling from brands. We make things move to help move people. Take note. Buck now. What was their own statement? I see the similarities in a way, even though their tones are different. Now look at the nice sheet. We partner with brands to create unforgettable word and content that stand out. Then the next, almost all of them start with a welcome statement or a definition of what they believe in. Then straight up case studies. And in this case, when I refer to case study, I'm talking about an in-depth overview of the project. Again, so it's not just a okay the animation. Yeah, it being broken down. What the project is about, more things about the project if you wish to share, look at. This is another of them. This is another of them. Another slide. So these are Apple. They made a show reel for the company, and it's on the homepage. Immediately you find it on the homepage. Then their caption. Now, if you notice that I've been following a pattern for agencies. These are all for agencies now. But if you are if before you can work with agencies, the reason why I wanted you to just see what it's like working for an agency in terms of their portfolio, what it look like. These are what it look like. For example, they are just going to the point. The homepage that comprises of their best feature projects, uh, the works, a page for work, a page for about, and I'm also guessing they should have a contact page. Right, exactly. Contact page, career page, and then people. But as a freelance motion designer, the approach is a bit. different and a bit more personalized because now you are seeking for opportunity. This is a very good friend of mine, Ricardo, Italian. So this is his own portfolio. Simple and short, who he is. Hello, I'm Ricardo. I'm a freelance graphic and motion designer. And straight up, his best projects, well presented. So if, for example, if you go to the project, it take you to an in-depth case study, an in-depth case study. Let's look for someone else. Um, this is the other side, not with their Behance. So you see that even an agency has not with they have to even be intentional about their branding. I think they did a rebrand recently, and this is how they shared it. So perception matters an individual, a corporation, an agency, or a brand. How people sees you and how can you be recognizable? It matters a lot because if companies, agencies spend a lot of time and money and resources in all these things because this is how you get hired. Whether it's from a company, let's say like Nickelodeon, Nike, these are what they need, these are what you need to create at the end of the day so that you can get hired because these are what sells you. Nobody wants to know what you have been doing all your life, whether you started yesterday or anything. But then, even with few projects, if you arrange yourself well, build your brand well, you can get something out. What this website, I had to go through some of my contacts and figure out some people, um, freelancers, and what they are doing. So now, as you can see, this website belongs to a lady. This is her work. Okay, this is the home page. Immediately, I greeted with her work, and if you click on it, it expands to the to an in-depth case study of or more of the project. And these are the things recruiters look out for. These are the things recruiters look out for. So I'm not. If you notice, all this while I've not been showing. I didn't show you any fancy website that so many busy things are moving up and down. The one because you're a motion designer, your website should be heavy and so many things happening at the same time. No, 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 no. People don't look out for those things. Remember, i- these are human beings that are or recruiting so as much talent as you than you. Some of these agencies or um employers or contractors, they are reviewing like 100 people at the same in the same week. So impression matters. Your first impression matters. So you need to captivate them with the first look. They don't need to be able. They don't need to find so many. Look for any kind of information about you. They need to. Oh, as a first glance, they have seen some. You are well represented, and you don't need to do so much. And the best part is that you don't need to be so much experienced. When I first started that, while I was going, I lost so many opportunities that I know I could have been very best for that position. And at the end of the day, the person that were hired or they were picked, I don't think they have so much thing going on in their life or with their skill, but because they understand this concept of branding and packaging portfolio, it helped them get easily hired much better. or much you get, because as a glance, people find the kind of content that they need to see from you. Okay, now this is something different. This is from a 3D designer. This is name. Let's see the home page. When you are greeted on his home page, it's simple, straight to the point. His project, his best project, um, and some other stuff like work, play, about, and contact, contact, definitely. So let's see. Let's look at more. I really need you to to have so many at your disposal. This is someone else, a 3D motion designer, brand studio, and everything. About, so the first step is to do your research. Look at styles. Look at representation that speaks to you. This is John. Look for representation that speaks to you, and find a way to marry what you have currently, uh, to what you need. So there are a lot of only one thing I did. This guy, I think he's a founder of one of the studio, one of Not Real Studio. And in this post he was featured, that steps to step by step animation. He made note of some talented freelancers that they work with again. And he said, follow these badass animators. So if you are just starting out and you are building a portfolio, when someone is highly recommended a by people that call the shots in an agency or a studio, pay attention to what they have been doing. Pay attention to what they have been doing. Pay attention to what they have been doing. Okay. I think this is one of his recent projects. So look for how they present their project, what they do when presenting their project. Look at their work, how they present their work, and also look at their about. Listen to their bio. Look into their bio, how their bio sound like. Look for their about, how their about sound like. And if you can do this consistently, you'll be able to find your own tune. You can find your own pattern, find your own um, mode of work, and what to expect. What then you also know what people are expecting of you, the level and the skill set, the level and the experience that they are expecting for you. So you don't need to be intimidated when you look at most of these sites while researching. You don't need to be intimidated, even if it look like, okay, this is something you can't see yourself getting to in a very short range. You don't need to be intimidated. You just need to keep on it, and very soon you find some relatability. Beautiful. Beautiful. So now it doesn't just end in okay, I've done a beautiful video. Have some captions, have some copies, write a story because these are things um these are things your recruiters, people that are hiring, they are looking out for. They are not just interested in the video. They want to see the content for your case study. They want to see the content. What do you have to say? How do you give credit? You get how do you give credit? So let me just look at someone else that was recommended. Then I walk you guys on how to and what to do when sorting yours. Okay, so we'll look at um let's try this guy. So this is the founder of Ordinary Force. So as you can see, he just have his show reel in the middle about work, teaching, contact. Simple. Now, since the beginning of this lecture, I've showed this so many different varieties of set, setting up setting up. I'm on a meeting. Setting up your portfolio. Let me also show you my own. Astonish. Always find your tone. Find your tone. It's not a matter of okay, this person did his own this way, um, or this one is looking complicated. Just always find your tone. Find your tone, and make sure that you take care of the most important thing. So I'm going to break down some few things that you need to have in your in your portfolio. And before I go further, some people mistake um some people can mistake some social media as portfolio. While I started, I've been using just my Behance as my portfolio. Like when people ask me for my portfolio website, I just shared my Behance, and I felt it was enough. At the level I was then, I felt it was enough, and it was actually enough because I the way I post my project, it was very detailed. The way I post my project on Behance, it was very detailed. It covered everything, my case study, approach, solution, and everything. It's a proper case study, so they are well organized. They were not randomized. They are not random. So at that time, it was working for me. I know we have motion designers who just share their Instagram handle. Now, the only challenge with these two with this with using only just these platforms is that you may not get to deliver the exact content you want because remember this site like Instagram and Instagram and Behance and some other social media can be limiting in the sense that you don't get to show um you don't get to feature some selected few projects that stand out to the way you want to be represented. Again, For example, now if I was to go to my own if I was to go to my own Insta Behance, if I was to go to my own Behance, let me do that now. Why is this taking time? Wow. This is my own Behance. You can notice how I post my content. It can still serve as a case study. It can still serve as a case study, but then I still need to find a way to summarize most of this content. That is why where's my portfolio side? That's why you have a portfolio side, because now you get to select all the kind of information you want your audience to get from this from you. You get in your absence. Now I have my own mission statement. You get I'm available to work with you. You get to see some more personalized content. It's in the impossible creativity for the future. You get now I wrote my brand message, which is I partner with global brand studios and emerging businesses to create exciting and meaningful experience. I am passionate about motion design and storytelling. You get so first of all, this the first thing you should note in your portfolio is having the a best caption that defines you, and your brand promises. I can call it brand promises. What are your brand promises? You notice the pattern everywhere. What this is their own promises. We make things move to help people, to help move people. What about the people? What was their own promises? Um, they are a creative company that brings brand story and expression to life through design, art, and technology. So this is my brand promise. Again. Then after that, I I need you to see my future project. Again. And you don't need to have all your projects on your portfolio. Just have all the best ones that speak um volume to you. So because of the site I'm using it just link you directly to my Behance post for you to see the complete project. Yeah. So that while still here, you can just they can get my about immediately. Okay, my about, and they can see some other information that are necessary, like the companies I work with, my tools. Then most importantly, a CV. A CV. Another thing you need to note when you need to have a good CV. If you are looking out for being, if you are looking out to getting hired, you should have a good CV that represents your current working experience and profile. This is mine. I always try to update it as much as I can. So your CV shouldn't look busy. Like I mentioned, your CV, you don't need to disturb. You don't need to give your hiree or your employer or people that are looking out to hire you stress, simple English, simple design, good font, and all the necessary information that they need to know. You get so most of these sites have pages for most of these personal websites have have a page for their CV if they needed if they want to be hired. Most times people get their CV, or sorry, in our case we call it resume. Yeah, I have a page for your resume so that your resume can be easily accessed without hustle. Your portfolio should have social media, all your social media links. One of the most important one is your LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn should be up to date and should your work experience should tally your work experience should tally with your CV. Your work experience should tally with your CV. I want to go to my profile. Hold on. Where's my profile? Show all activity. Okay. So as you can see, my work experience on my LinkedIn profile is updated with my is updated with my CV. It's updated with my CV. And you don't just build your profile on LinkedIn. Always try to be engaging on LinkedIn, because most recruiters, this is where they make their final bidding if they can work with you. You get always engage, and you don't necessarily always have to post what you're working on. You get your lifestyle as a motion designer. You can also post work in progress. Your featured. You get, are you speaking on any event? Update us. Are you planning on attending any event? Update us. Okay, what you learn something new? Update us on. You get, when you are engaging on these platforms, it helps build your visibility. It helps build your visibility. Another thing you should learn is your writing. You get writing and case study. Now, the reason why I want to use my own to explain some things is because this is not like a developed portfolio. I didn't have to develop it myself. I made use of a free I made use of a free platform that was made by some Nigerians, and very easy. That IU Advance and his team they have been an amazing team. You get, and I to show that I can someone can use a very simple tool as this to get something standard for a portfolio. You get, for a portfolio. Now these are a few things that at least whatever platform you are using, whether you're using a custom website or anything, these are a few things that you should be able to have in your website. So a little about you, link to your other social media like your Instagram, your Behance, very important, and your LinkedIn at least. Then you should have a page where you talk about your project. Example, a case study. Then if you must, you can include your resume. You can include your resume. But then you can find that some freelancers don't have to do that. Like, don't have to do that, especially when you have enough project. Yeah, especially when you have enough project to to, to work with. But then you should have your resume well thought out, well scripted, somewhere updated, because recruiters will always ask for this so that they can get to know more about you. So they can get to know more about you. Um, so you don't need to. The reason why I came back to this VZY because you don't need to have a big budget for you to own a good portfolio site. Again, you can as well use this tool and then create something for yourself. So when you're signing up with VZY, you can just simply use your Gmail directly. You sign into VZY. If you are just signing in for the first time, you may not have all these other projects. Um, you may not have all these other projects. What you can then do is to create a new project, give it a name. What can we call it? Let's call it something. Mm, let's say in ink motion. Assuming this is your URL, what I will always prefer this freelancer since we are offering it's a personal. So this is how the dashboard look like. It's very easy to customize. You can change the description. You can adjust the position, the styling. You can adjust your styling. It's as easy as dragging and dropping. How you can edit these sectors, the styling. If you want it to be just one, like my own, or you want it to be three at a time, that's up to you. Then there are many tabs for you to customize. So, what I would advise, look for websites that inspires you. For example, if you like this setup, look at the reference and build your build build your site. If you're using this website, build it to your taste. Remember, you don't need to have so much information. You don't need to have so much information. Your site doesn't need to do so much things. You get just have the essential, have your essential and your call to action, and you are good. Have your essential and your call to action, and you are good. Then the next thing I feel that will be very handy for you as a motion designer is your Behance. I think I've shared mine already and how I utilize my Behance. I've shared mine and how I utilize, because one thing about Behance, collaborate collaborate on projects and build and stylize how you want it to be presented. So when you've done all this, once you've done all these things, you are ready. Once you've done all these things, always then learn how to write. When I mean right now, I'm talking about building a proper case study, because at the end of the day, brands are not just important, not just interested in that you can move so many pictures up and down. They are more interested on what what was the outcome of this video. A typical case study I did was with Medium. That was for at a personal project, not necessarily a personal project. It's more like an NGO. You guess. So these are things you should look out for. So this case study was the brand positioning. You get, I collaborated with a designer to win the police. So these are some things you need to know. What was the object? What was the overview and what was the challenge? What was your who are the target audience? What are the project approach? My approach, deliverables, the tools again. So now you get to see the an in-depth breakdown of this project. It's not something. These are all not something that can be done in at a time. You. But once you have it in the back of your mind that this is where you are going to, you always build and you expand. You build and you expand. You build and you expand. All my 5 years on it's bit by bit. Yeah. Now currently, one thing I noticed was that okay, I needed my tone to be consistent in terms of my how I present my project again, to the point that okay, I had to create a solution for myself because perception matters. How people how people can recognize you, it matters in your proximity and visibility. So let me share you this project, share with you this project. Sorry. Intentionality, you need to be intentional. Yes, you need to be intentional with your colors, intentional with your font, intentional with your visual representation. Yet it's not something that is built one time. You just need to try to be intentional about it so that you can um get the kind of opportunities you are looking out for. So now I had to limit myself to a brand and visualization so that I can be consistent with I can be consistent with how I present my project. So it's not just oh I have nice project, but how do I present my project? Now look at this um agency. There's this harmony in how their projects are presented. There's an harmony. You get people need to see that you are organized in a way. So if you notice, as I grew, my projects are beginning to harmonize in a way. I so because of how things were going, I now start discovering my visual clues for consistency sake. Yeah. It was not until I discovered the what was very common, what was very common with myself. Then I now had to find a pattern to maintain consistency. When I first started, I started with creating I started with creating some personal project, like logo exploration. Then I started illustrations. Um, so you see, we go with time. With time, I started being more intentional about my colors. So currently, my colors was still all around there. That was why I just said, okay, I needed to I needed to actually expand on it because I noticed something. Uh, this my friend. Oh no. Oh, okay. Thank God. I thought it would have entered my DM already. So there, when I reached out to him, I think sometime last year, I noticed something. There's this professionalism in his project, and how it's appeared. There's a consistency that even sometimes when you see his project, you just know that this project is coming from this guy, because there's a level of consistency in the way he pushes content, a level of consistency. You get, and when I got to have some call with him, he was like, bro, that you need to be very, very intentional about this. You get, sometimes you don't just post project after you have been after you are concluded. When if you need to post on your personal page, sometimes you may have to edit the project again so that it can flow with the existing team you have. It can flow and be consistent with the existing team you have. You get, so when you've created your brand rules, I don't are you guys with me? Okay, it's the quality now. When you created your brand rule, um, your brand rule, you obey it. You try as much as you can to obey it, so you can create this mental memory. Look at brand like Coca-Cola, MTN, name them, Apple. There's this they are they do so well because even Google, because they have tried their best to limit their expression to create that consistency so that it to build that memory. So you as a motion designer, you're building brand experiences for people, and you cannot be consistent with you cannot build the experience for your own self. Why then? How can people trust you? Um, Even my own self astonished. I've been trying to. I discovered my brand voice a long time ago. Again, a long time ago. What I try to do is create this spark. Again, this spark is there's this balance with being cool. There's this balance of me being cool, relatable, and free, cool, relatable, free, and expressive. Again, so these are my own personal values. Again, so yes, I can be badass, but I'm still approachable. I know how to express myself. I have a personality, and I try to bring this vibe in how I show my project, in how I build my project, how I if how I the vibe I do, I create my project with. Yeah, so you need to be consistent with it. If you want to sell a type of message for yourself, are you being mysterious? Stick with that. Yeah. So let's explore some other brands as well. I think there's this from Ask Me Anything with Austin and his team as Wavy. So you notice there is a consistency in their brand tone, how they write their messages, their styling, and everything. There is consistency. Even designer DAO as a community, they have a brand tone. Uh, and they try to express it as with every time. You get, they are dark, they have a dark theme. Thank God their brand tone is very close to mine as well. So it doesn't conflict. These are still part of my vibe, my vibe as well. So it, I didn't have any issue editing their content to suit my own page. But then always have it at the back of your mind. I think another designer that have been consistent in personal branding is Isaac. So it's not something you can figure it out immediately. But with time, why you go, you figure out your tone. Because you try so many things, and you start to see why you try so many things at once. You find some the things that are very very consistent with you. You get, and you try to take note about these things, take note of yourself and everything. And with time, you have an image that people can perceive you with. You get, it's everywhere. Every brand have their own way. Whether you're a 2D guy, you figure out your tone. And when you figure out your tone and your message, try to be consistent around it. Try to be consistent. Be very, very intentional how you are perceived. Be very, very intentional about it. I I can't overemphasize it enough. Be very, very intentional around how you're perceived. You get, but for now you don't have any pressure. You just need to just start with something basic. I think I shared you some, so you can have something basic. Look at this now. It's not too much. Just 2 pages. You are greeted with his work. Yet selected projects. You are greeted with his work, and so when you are doing a project, don't just look at it as okay. I'm doing just one thing, a brand film, which is this is film, for example. But down to the message, what was the goal of this project? What was your how what were your approach? What was the result? Give a note about it. Again, give a note. Get some style frames or behind the process. People are really interested in this. People want to see your behind the process. How do you approach your work? Show us a little. We are interested in this kind of thing. Show us a little about it. Then write your credits. Yeah, write your credits. So you don't need to have so many things going on, but then let this essential information be out there. Be intentional about your copies. Be intentional about your copy. Believe me, even if you just have two solid projects with your good copy, your LinkedIn is updated, your resume is updated, you will not struggle to be picked out. So if in an interview of 50 people, you don't have to stand out. You stand out, and you most times, even with even with people that have a lot of project going on, people that have a lot of projects that are going on in their life, they will not their projects are too busy. You get, it's too busy. And that is another reason why you should need a showroom. I believe I shared my showroom sometime. Um, Now you don't need to have so many projects in building in creating a perfect showroom. It's more about the approach. Okay? Only show your best shots, and let it show the kind of things that you are interested in working for, or working as. Okay? Are you looking out for more logo animation gigs? Show more nice logo animation. Are you interested in explainer video? Show more of that. Are you interested in UI animation? Show more of that. Are you interested in character animation? Show more of that. You get. Are you interested in brand film, brand campaign jingle and the rest of them? Build project around that and share it. Let me share someone project. what is his name? 7, I think. So now, pay attention. I'm very, very certain this author have a lot of clients project, a lot of client projects even before now. But as you can see, all the projects you can find here are his personal projects. Now, with your personal project, you get to define the kind of quality and taste you desire. So you don't need to wait for till a client have commissioned you. No, you don't need to wait for a client to commission you. Explore, experiment without any restriction. Create the kind of project you like to create and put them on your showreel instead. I'm very certain that he has so many client projects, but then this is what he shows to share. Yeah, these are what he shows to share, and it's justifiable. It justify the kind of um the kind of project he longs for, the kind of experience or opportunities he wants. So it's not a matter of having 50 projects on your reel. Sometimes it can even be tutorial project that you're creating tutorial for on how to achieve a certain style or whatever. But then just stand out. Try and stand out. Try and stand out. Only you don't need to post all the time. Yeah, you don't need to post all the time. But then make sure that whatever you're sending or what out there is representing you well. It's representing you well enough. I think I've exhausted enough on this conversation. I think I can entertain your questions. Then we call it a day. So please ask me questions and concerns. Let's just go over it. Now we are now in ask me anything. Ask me anything, please. Um, okay. Yeah, do we have any questions? Thank you. I saw your comment. Nice. Um, I think I can also share some of this link on the group so that if you want to do your own research about these people, let me just do that now. Let me share some of these links. You're welcome, my boss. We did together. I can't wait for you guys to be sending me your personal show portfolios, shows, every every. I can't wait, man. So while I'm on this, next week, I believe next week is your project week. That's this week coming. It's your project week. Um, I'm very excited. I'm super excited, very excited because we'll be we'll be we'll be summing all the class, everything we have done in one project. We'll be summing everything we've done in one project. So like what I discussed, what we have in mind, you guys will be given a script, possibly with a voiceover, and you're supposed to interpret everything in the voiceover with motion design. So your interpretation is up to you. Logo, you can include you can also do a logo animation. Um, depending on the direction of the script, what it entails. I believe. Okay, good news is asking a question. He said that I talked about niching for most of us who are in our early stage as motion designers. Is it right for us to settle down or choose a specific niche now? So, okay, so as to channel more energy in getting better at this particular niche. Yeah, it's totally up to you. When while you're starting out. Now, niching for now doesn't really necessarily mean that you're going to be on it forever. No, like currently now, part of my goal, I have two goals currently. Two of my goal is one is to branch into 3D, like 3D. Even in the 3D, I'm not even going to generalize in all the 3D. I think I'm much more interested in character animation in 3D for my 3D now. Then even I also want to branch into cell animation, and what I'm interested in for cell animation um is more of fluid animation, so that I can be doing some nice mixed reality, mixed media again. So you should always have an objective. The reason why you are niching, ask yourself some question. What do you want to do? What kind of opportunity are you looking out for? Okay, this opportunity is this, what do I need in my archive? Um, what do I need in my archive? Do I need to create content around comedy? Am I doing living videos? Is that what I fancy? Do I want to do okay nice animation for musicians? I think there's this beautiful motion design. This guy, I'm sorry I'm digressing. I really want to share this. I just because it just popped in my head now. I want to share this. There's this nice animation by Burna Boy. What's that girl name again? And what is this SIA? Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. So even in the music industry, even in the music industry, you get there's still big leagues. So forget about what. So if this your interest, okay, sure, you can niche down to traditional animation, cell animation, character animation. You don't need to do everything. Are you guys with me? You don't need to do everything at once. But I think the essence of the niche is to so that you can master. You need to master so I can master, because it's very important. You need to master something. Yeah, when I first started, I think I was at some point I just had to focus on logo animation. Again, I focus in logo animation. I was just doing some logo exploration because that was where I wanted to niche down at that moment. But from there, I started going into brand motions. Okay, yeah, sure. Someone raising his hand. Please ask a question.
All right. Good evening, Astonish. And thank you very much for the session. It's fully loaded and, in fact, it's so much appreciated. So,
You're
I
welcome.
don't really have like a question. I just want to give a comment as regard the niche. Um, like personally, when I started, I also had a direction, an interest, which is actually to go into character animation as well, both 2D and 3D character animation. That was initially my interest for becoming an animator or motion designer. So, but as a starter, so, motion design is also a field that actually has you need to invest heavily in terms of your system, in terms of your workspace and all, so that you be able to do all those heavy or demanding animation. So I
Yeah.
feel it is not yeah, it's okay also to actually have a little knowledge about most of the fields. And sometimes as a starter, if you get a job in, let's say, this animation field that are not really demanding, I think you can actually use that one to actually um, gather your like your capital until you get it right, invest properly, then you can now niche. So as a starter, I feel you could still work around just to try to get a capital or raise funds so that you will be able to eventually concentrate in that niche of your choice. That's in terms of if you don't actually have the capital to go into that exact niche of your interest. So that's just my own comment. And I feel you should also, as a motion designer, even though you are not, of course, majoring in, you are not going about, you are not going over all the place. It's still okay to actually have a little knowledge about everything. So that's my own
Yes,
comment regarding that. Thank
beautiful.
you.
I really like that. I thank you so much for your comment. It's very essential actually because as you're starting out, yes, you need to just have to know a lot about many things. But then while you are learning about many things, you get to understand where your strength is. And that's the beauty of learning so many things. But you get to understand your strength. You get when I started as a designer because of my system capacity. My system cap- my system capacity was not so great for motion design. So I started building my design sense. Then when I could afford a good system, not so much a good system, a workstation, an old generation workstation, I had to limit myself to 2D animation so that I can maximize the time and effort and within some time I was able to scale. Now my system can run any type of animation, 3D, 2D, VFX and everything. That's why now I want to consider 3D again. So yes, I think what he was saying is that with proper planning, you can know what to do at any given time with proper planning. So you know what is obtainable at a particular time, the kind of opportunities and and always go for it, man. Go for it. Go for it. I like that. Do anybody have any question, any comment? Let's talk because after now you guys will be doing your project too. You guys will be doing your project and the project is not going to be come shop. Oh. You guys are going to do something very demanding for these 2 weeks. You guys something very demanding that will test you in so many levels. So please share your concern now. Let's get to talk for the rest of the evening. Please share your concern. If you can't talk, you can type. Oh, you can see. But basically, I think I'm done. I'm done demonstrating. I think I've exhausted all I think I can exhaust about today's topic, which was portfolio. Okay, someone is asking, with all our previous lessons, are we good to go? Yes, I believe. Yes, definitely, because with what we've covered all the foundation. Yeah, I will be shocked if anybody tell me that they don't know, they will not be able to, they don't know how to search for information on YouTube, or what platform they should go to if they want to learn certain things. Because even till date, I still open my YouTube to learn some certain tricks before I apply them in my project. Yeah. But then at least you've learned how to navigate and know how to search, even how to search for inspiration. The kind of Behance accounts you should look out for. Like for example, now, even in prior to preparing to the class, I knew that okay, I need to find some freelancers. They are freelance motion designers, so I can see what they are doing in terms of their personal branding and portfolio. And it was very easy. What I did was I just had to look for one studio. I just had to look for a few studios and look for who these studios are following. Yeah, who these studios are for. How many of these accounts are personal accounts? These studios will not follow you for no reason because they just like your face now. You must be providing a service for them. Again, it's just like I hire you for as a motion designer. I will still follow you and to so I can stay in touch. Or even before I hire you, I must have followed you and okay, this I like this guy's work. And when I'm ready to work with you, I'll just refer that page and okay, yes, it's time for me to work with you. And I look at the project that I need to work with you for. For example, now this is Ebube. I think I saw some of my friends here. Uh, so yeah, you always see you can know find who to reference. Yes, you can find who to reference at every certain time, whether from Instagram, whether from YouTube, whether from Behance. Projects you can reference when working on any project. I think I'm so sorry I didn't mention this. Please also start referencing Vimo. Now Vimo is a site where creators upload their videos. You know, as we have YouTube for bloody civilians. As a motion designer, if you really want to look for motion content that can inspire you, try checking out Vimo. Yeah, try checking out Vimo. You see a lot of beautiful content. Um, okay, for networking, uh, every everywhere now we have Discourse. Sorry, Discord. We have um, we have Instagram. We have LinkedIn. Lately, LinkedIn have been the best place for me to network with motion designers because everybody for LinkedIn, everybody they hustle. You get you show up, you sell yourself on LinkedIn. You put out your best work on LinkedIn, your best your best presentation on LinkedIn because they are very sure that you must get a hire, you get, or you will get opportunity. So please, if you have not started being serious with your LinkedIn, please update your LinkedIn account, follow and expand your network. You get, for networking. LinkedIn is one of your best options. We have Twitter, but Twitter is not a must. So, um, most time Twitter na miracle, but then it helps if you are consistent. You need to be consistent if you are using Twitter. Instagram for me, I think Instagram I mostly get inspiration from there. Yeah, inspiration from agencies, um, freelancers, designers, and what have you. So Instagram is also there. We have Pinterest as well. We have Pinterest. So yeah, knowing knowing where to search for information is always important, and I believe you can do that. Well, part of your job is to research every time. I swear, Kege, you treat- uh, okay. I think I've never experienced being banned on Twitter. I don't know what you guys need to post that make them ban them. I don't know what you guys used to post every time, but I think I've not had any challenge with Twitter yet in terms of all this branding and everything. But it's fine. It's fine. Your project is coming soon. I think the moderators will communicate what they want you guys to do, what they want you guys to do. I think at least 20 seconds animation, start to finish. It's going to test you in your storyboarding, it will test you in your style framing, your interpretation of scripts, it's going to test you in typography, animation, and some other tricks. You get some other storytelling. Now even your detailing to test it in all round. So I really can't wait to start seeing your end to end. Um, it has been a very beautiful journey. I must say. I'll give room for any more comment, but if there's no more comment, I think we can call it a day, and so we can prepare for the election. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. It has been an amazing time since the first week. It's been a learning experience for me. I must say, this is it has been a learning experience for me. I want to like thank you, designer DAO, for the opportunity. Thank you, everybody. I can't wait to start seeing your end-to-ends for your project. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, that's why I'm doing watching so I can join Austin. I can join the AMA. Please try and join this space. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be beautiful. The AMA in the Discord. Yeah, these guys are crazy. I follow them a lot. I follow their live stream. And believe me, everybody that follow their live stream, the, their motion design they upgrade. So now you get to interact with these guys. Don't worry, you see me there. I go ask questions. I know how they manage not to dey ask questions when you see somebody can do for me. I go ask questions today tonight. No worry, no wahala na. So let me teach you how to ask questions. If you want to learn how to ask questions, don't worry, come and join the space tonight and see how they interview people. Thank you so much, everybody. Good night.